with the first episode, trying to really get the audience to have a great understanding of who everyone is was a difficult task, but it was one that I took on with great joy, because I love each and every one of the characters, but I really kind of wanted to show that Black people are not a monolith. Even though all these characters are Black, they're all from Chicago, they're all sort of working class, but they all have very different ways of walking through the world. They all handle tragedy very differently. They handle work very differently, but I think people can see themselves in at least one of the characters, and I think that was my goal. I think when most people think of Chicago, they think of Wrigley Field, they think of the Miracle Mile, they think of, Oprah Winfrey and Michael Jordan and those things. And all those things are a part of the city. But the neighborhood I grew up in, was very quiet and quaint and very, there was a familial type of vibe. And so I think in some of these other areas that we venture into in the show are a little bit darker than where I grew up, but I didn't want to ignore that. I didn't want to only make it be, I'm going to tell a story about Chicago in a positive light. I want to sort of tell it in a very accurate light. And there are certain things that people experience in Chicago that maybe I might not have experienced, but it's a truth about the city. And so I wanted to really run toward that truth, not run away from it. I think with The Shine, we didn't want any characters to be just like, this person's the saint and this person's the sinner, because I know that that's not how the world is. But you do need some characters that are going to kind of shake things up a bit and going to be a little bit antagonistic. And I think the character Quentin, who we in the writers' room like to refer to as Q, I think he's someone who's trying to figure something out, and he's trying to kind of reacclimate himself into the city. And he just really represents an older generation who's trying to who isn't necessarily a good guy, but is trying to better understand how these younger guys are kind of running the city. The room is full of hope. We all are these characters. We all have had trials and triumphs, and we've stumbled and we've made bad decisions, and we've done things that we shouldn't have, and we've done things to ease the pain that maybe wasn't so healthy. And so we all have that, but we've all survived it. We all wound up in a writer's room, talking about these characters. So and we really just wanted to incorporate ourselves into these characters and into the show. So the human stories you see and the specifics that are there, things that we pull from our own personal lives and give them to the characters, because that's the best way to show hope, is through real human stories. But I didn't want to do this thing of like every time I do a story or a show that there has to be necessarily a gay character. Although there are definitely gay characters that pop up in this show because it is me. But I really did kind of want to make sure people understand that I'm still a Black person as well, and I want to tell a Black story, and it doesn't always have to have a queer character. But I'm still trying to get 20s Made, which is very much like My Master of None, where the lead character is a thinly veiled version of me. So the lead would be a queer woman of color. But it just really, for me, this depends on the story, and I don't want to always push all of my stuff into everything. I kind of also want to just be able to tell a story, that it can be gay or straight or whatever.